Thanks for joining us here on 10 Tampa Bay Plus and First Coast News Plus. Did have a cold front to come through. And for us here in Tampa, things are relatively calm, but it's not going to be the case in Jacksonville. I'm joined by Lee Southway. Let's go ahead and head on over to Lee to talk more about your weather impact alert day today.
Hey, James, good morning. Yes, we do have a weather impact alert. And for those of you from the First Coast area who have been watching and dealing with the weather over the past couple of days, I want to let you know today is less about the rain, but more about that flooding threat again at times of high tide. We have unfortunately seen a lot of flooding along the intracoastal, the rivers, the waters, the estuaries, seeing that flooding at times of high tide and the windy conditions too. So those are the two main reasons why we have a weather impact alert today. Let's start with a look out across the First Coast, and you'll see that it is a gray and dreary day for most of us here. Whether you are in Georgia or in Northeast Florida, we are seeing these gray skies, these gray showers. Oh, guys, I am on Max 1, which would be your channel 4, I believe. So give us 1 second. If you're watching your 7-day there, that's also... There we go. Okay, so what I'm looking at, and I'll tell you guys, and you will see it shortly, gray skies and raining in places like St. Augustine. Those of you who see the rain today, you're going to be along the beaches. There it is. Thank you so much. So we're going to see showers for our beach areas. Now, that is mainly where we will have the bulk of the rain, 30% today. So not nearly as much rain as we have seen, but still, as you can see, for a lot of you, it's still not the prettiest of days. Now, for those of you in, say, Lake City, you have some blue in the sky. It's breezy, but overall it should be a fairly nice day for those of you inland. Waycross, you're still dealing with those gray skies. But there is a look at St. Augustine, and you can see the raindrops on the screen, the rain coming down there. So when we look at our radar, not too bad. You see the coastal showers. That's about all we have. That will continue to be the story today. Those of you closer to the coast, along the beaches, you'll see those pop-up showers. So what a lot of us will be dealing with is the windier conditions. We have a sustained wind now of 21 miles an hour for NIS Jax, 18 for St. Augustine, 21 in Palm Coast, St. Simon's Islands at 17, and even for those of you inland, Waycross, sustained winds at 17, 12 in Lake City, but your gusts are stronger. Right now at this snapshot in time, I'm not seeing any gusts in the 30-mile-per-hour range, but we did see that earlier this morning, and that is still possible. I think we could have gusts at the beaches 30 to 40 miles an hour. So as mentioned, today is a weather impact alert day. First and foremost for the coastal flooding, the tidal flooding. Times of high tide, those high tides will be higher than normal, and so we will once again see that water pour into the streets. Also, we have the strong wind out there. And then, as I just showed you, some coastal showers, just a few showers. So watch out for road closures, not from the heavy rain that would cause some ponding on the roadways, but again, those tides, the high tides, looking like this. So this is a look out of Fernandina Beach yesterday, those higher than normal high tides. This sent to us by Kathleen, one of our weather watchers. That's Front Street in Fernandina Beach, downtown area. And oh man, that water really coming up. Got a couple of photos for you here. This one from Tammy. This is at St. Augustine and people driving through flooded streets there too. So we've gone from St. Augustine to Fernandina, and we'll continue north into St. Mary's. Terry sent in this photo, our weather watcher, of the St. Mary's riverfront flooding as well. So that is the story, unfortunately, again, today at high tide. It is possible that where you saw flooding yesterday, you would see it again today. So what are those high tide times? Generally speaking, the lunch hour or a little bit after. So St. Mary's, we just saw that picture of you guys. Today, right around 1:30, that's your high tide. Fernandina Beach, we looked at that photo for you. Your high tide closer to 1 p.m. Bridge of Lions in St. Augustine, 12:41 p.m. Meanwhile, along the intracoastal waterway in the Jax Beach area, your high tide generally around 2 to 3:15, depending on where you are, up and down the ICW. I do have a friend who lives on the ICW who is at high tide locked into her neighborhood. They're flooded in and they can't get out. So we're also watching the Intracoastal Waterway, Neptune Beach, Jax Beach, Atlantic Beach, Mayport, and then of course all the way down we go towards the Bridge of Lions, Matanzas, watching Flagler County too. And that's not it. We're also watching our beaches with these big seas. We've had rough seas out there and we've had some beach erosion. So this photo sent in by Brenda, Also out of Fernandina Beach, that's the beach erosion that we've been watching there. So for the rest of the day today, our gusts generally around or above 30 miles an hour. I think they would peak at about 40 miles an hour for the beaches. And we're watching it closely because we have events going on, like Beaches Oktoberfest. They got canceled yesterday. It's back today, but hold on to your hats, or ladies, no dresses, no skirts. We don't want any Marilyn Monroe moments. The wind will be whipping, especially at our beaches. But as for that rain coverage, let me just actually back this up and show you this again slowly. Again, it's coastal areas that might see a few sprinkles, a few showers, but as you can see, it's not the main story. Not as much of us seeing rain today as we saw the past couple of days. So for your Saturday, weather impact alert in effect, still windy, winds out of the northeast, 15 to 30 miles an hour, gusts to 40. Tidal flooding at the time of high tide around the lunch hour or into the afternoon hours, and we will watch out for some coastal showers. Check out our sunset. That's at 6:59 p.m. We are now in the 6 o'clock hour for our sunset. We are done with those 7 p.m. sunsets, moving into the 6 o'clock hour. So tomorrow, we will be calming down some. Still going to be a little breezy out there. Winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Gusts at the beaches could be 20 to 25 miles an hour. But that is starting to relax. The high tide shouldn't be as high. I'm still going to watch out for flooding, but hopefully not as high as it is today. And our rain chances go down. We have about a 20% chance of rain. Temperatures comfortable, upper 70s, near 80 degrees. We're going to show you your sports forecasts coming up, but just a heads up, just looking at this, you can tell it's going to be pretty nice for the Jags game, but I'll break that down for you hour by hour here coming up. For now, though, let's just take a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, today, the weather impact alert is in effect for tidal flooding, for those gusty winds, and then along the beaches, those off and on showers. Tomorrow, conditions get a lot better. We're going to be a bit drier. I think our skies will be a bit sunnier, and the breeze starts to relax some. As we head into the work week, we're going to be much calmer when it comes to those winds, sunnier skies, drier skies, and warmer temperatures in the low to middle 80s. So, James, you got to tell me what's going on in the Tampa Bay area. I hope that it is a lot better than what we are dealing with today and what we've been dealing with the past couple of days. So what do you have going on over there in the Tampa-St. Pete area?
Well, I'm looking at your Wednesday morning, starting your days at 60, and I'm getting quite jealous of that. Now, we are going to be comfortable, so for us, it's more about the clouds and the breezy conditions. So, and much like yours, ours is the same. Rain's not going to be a factor for us for the day today, but right now, quite cloudy skies across the area, and it's going to be breezy, and really the only effects from that are going to be if, unfortunately, you had a boating weekend planned. Quite breezy for the day today. Take a look around my area, and again, in Tampa and areas around us, we are looking rather cloudy. It is going to be a little while before we get rid of the cloud cover for the day today, and you can see pretty much Clearwater Beach, St. Petersburg, and all kinds of looks the same. Downtown Tampa, looking at Benchmark, there is thick cloud cover out there. I know it looks like it's going to rain, but we're not expecting anything really to come through here. What little bit pushes in towards Jacksonville should dry up before it gets here. And then same thing looking out at the airport. Things are looking nice. Clearwater Beach does not look like the best beach day. You will get some sunshine this afternoon, so your beach forecast is for mostly cloudy through about maybe 2, 3 o'clock, and then we'll see partly sunny conditions before it goes down. We're looking at a high of around 81 here for the beaches, but again, it's mostly about the wind. UV index is a 7. Your water temperature is 82 degrees, but we do have a small craft advisory for the day today. The bay is going to be rough at times. Our winds are out of the northeast about 15 to 25 knots. And again, this is all the same weather system. What's causing, again, all the high winds and surf in Jacksonville is all due to that low, which I'll show you in just a second. But it's going to be taking off gradually today into tomorrow. So your seas today at 4 to 6 feet. Your boating forecast is much better for tomorrow, and even better as we go throughout next week. So currently our winds in our area, not too bad. We're seeing some winds in the teens. And again, we'll see some gusts in the 20s for some spots, especially out over the water. Temperatures are in the low 70s. Again, it is comfortable here. We have mid to upper 60s to a few spots, still about 70 to 71 for your dew points. That is going to get better, though. It's already getting better thanks to the cold front moving through yesterday. You can see anywhere from 4 to a 7 degree difference being more comfortable this morning and getting more comfortable Sunday into Monday as well. And the good news is we'll hold that lower humidity as we go throughout actually all of next week, because we have another cold front. It's going to be a dry one, but it's going to come and help bring, or really keep the drier air in place. So your forecasted heat index is probably the best news I got for you. High today's 84, your heat index is 85. So again, you can't really ask for better conditions than that across the area. So today there's your 84, early clouds, a little bit of afternoon sun, but those winds out of the northeast about 10 to 20 miles an hour. So quite the breezy day today. And again, shouldn't be a big bother if you're not planning on doing any boating today. Satellite radar shows the thick cloud cover we still have across the area. You're going to see a few breaks. Those are a little bit more up towards the north, get ready to make their way towards the nature coast, and that is how we'll gradually clear from north to south. There's the low off the coast, and there's the cold front pushing its way down to the south. There's our rain chances for the day. Again, it's all up to the northeast, again, around Jacksonville area, which is still not a high chance there. But you see Sunday through Wednesday, we're going to be fantastic. So your futurecast again shows a little bit could possibly make it down through our area, but it's not going to be much. That's where the 10% comes in. About 3 o'clock, we'll start to see some sun. And then again, we'll continue to see things clearing out tonight, and the next couple days is going to be nice. So here is the low. It's wreaking all havoc on the East Coast there. It's bringing flooding conditions all the way up through the Carolinas, and it's going to get a little worse for them as we go into tomorrow, as it's going to get better for our coast, for Jacksonville, as that one moves this way kind of up and out. So by Monday, everything's looking great here. Again, this one's not a strong front, and some forecast models doesn't show it coming through. A European model shows this high pressure building in back behind it, and that's going to be for next weekend, to start next weekend. I'll show you a change coming up here in just a second. But your dew point forecast, this is what, again, everybody's been waiting on, been talking about it with all these cold fronts for the past couple of months, getting the taste of fall up to the north. We have got nothing here. And you can see those dew points going down even more for tomorrow, and then holding anywhere between 60 and 63 all the way through Friday. Now look at your moisture here, and this is why, again, we're going to see this extended dry time. That low works its way up the coast. We get what's back behind it, that cooler, drier air pulling its way in from the north. We're going to continue that. Again, we could see a reinforcing shot of some drier air. That would be in terms of that cold front. We'll see if it comes through. But right here, this model shows it pushing through and down to the south. That's why you're seeing kind of some moisture down here. That's not going to be for us. But watch this high pressure. Now here we go into Saturday. Again, Friday, Saturday still looks great, but the extended models show that high shifting far to the east, kind of opening the door for all that moisture to come back across the area. More of that south-southeast flow with the high all the way over here, and then another front that's up towards the north. So that's the extended, and that's what you see here in the moisture content for the European. Look at the jump between Saturday and Sunday as that high takes off towards the east. So again, a lot can change with this. We saw a lot changing with this low that's off the coast right now, exactly where it's going to go. We're still far away from that. Just know that your upcoming forecast looks fantastic. So we'll get to your 7-day forecast here, because again, things are looking beautiful for us. We're going to be a little breezy today. That gets better tomorrow, and your extended starting your days, or starting tomorrow all the way through Friday, will start in the upper 60s. We'll end up mid-80s tomorrow, then climbing 87 to 88. Again, your normal is to start the day at 71 and top out at 87. I'm going to be pretty close to that Monday through Wednesday, with 68s to start the day and 87 for a high. We do start to warm up a little bit more Thursday into Friday. It looks like maybe some moisture Sunday into Monday, but all in all, looking pretty good. So your beach forecast, will end with this before we talk about some sports forecasts coming up here. Today and tomorrow, both you're in the low 80s. Again, today, the big deal is the cloud cover. Again, we'll get sunshine this afternoon at 82. And then for Sunday, a lot of sunshine for the whole day. And we're looking at a lot lower winds, about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So if you have to pick a day, I would definitely pick tomorrow for that beach day. But there's a lot of other stuff going on. Lee, you mentioned your sports forecast. Let's go ahead and get to yours, see what it's going to be like for tomorrow, because it looks like your conditions are going to get a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely. I just also got a comment on both of our 7 days being so dry. It's nice to see. It's a sign of the change in the seasons. I enjoy seeing that for both of our 7 days.
Finally.
Okay, so let's get over to sports. We'll pull up this graphic. I hope you don't mind, James. I'm going to start with some college football. Only here at First Coast News, we talk about FSU, the Gators, and UGA. And so Tallahassee has a home game today. So Pitt at Tally taking on Knowles at 12 p.m. right around 72 degrees, but staying in the 70s today in Tallahassee. A really nice and beautiful day. And I actually just got to be honest with you guys, I like all of these forecasts. Now, granted, a bit warmer in College Station where the Gators are at Texas A&M, but not too bad. And of course, it'll be cooling down because that's a night game. And same in Auburn where the Dogs are playing. So 7:30 game, cooling down, so starting around 74, but then dropping down to the lower 70s very quickly. So I think that's good football weather. And then same story here back in Jacksonville on Sunday, good football weather. Temperatures saying the upper 70s for a lot of the First Coast. So I don't mean to rub it in to all of you in the Tampa Bay area where you're in the 80s and I hope you enjoy it. We likely will be staying in the upper 70s to right near 80. Now, those who are Jags fans who go to the bank, we know it feels a little bit warmer once you are packed inside there. So prepare for feels like temperatures in the lower 80s, but good bit of sunshine. We do have a 20% chance of rain, but it doesn't look like it'd be over the stadium during game time. So I think we'll still be a little bit breezy, especially because we're by the river. So maybe wind speeds around 15 miles an hour should help make things continue to feel really comfortable. And hopefully we'll be celebrating another win here in Jacksonville. But I think definitely, James, our Jags forecast is a winning forecast with temperatures staying right around 80 for a high during the game. What about you guys? What do the Bucks have going on?
I like how you have celebrate down there at 5. So hopefully you are celebrating. I am picking the Jags to win. I think they're one of the hottest teams right now. And after and after watching your game last week on Monday night, that was a fantastic game that you guys did end up pulling out and winning. So, which I did pick you to win that one too. So let's hope you keep the ball rolling with that one. We got two things going on again.
Oh, thank you for picking us. You picked the right teams.
Yeah, you're welcome. Well, I don't know about all my teams I pick because I'm gonna pick. I pick with the heart when it comes to the Panthers. But the Panthers are playing the Cowboys in Carolina. I think we have a good chance to win. Rico Dowdle, 206 yards last week, playing his old team this week. He is an ex-Cowboy, so I hope he goes off for about 250. So we'll see about that. But back here, things are looking pretty good. Again, for today.
I'll be watching for you guys too. Oh, I'm sorry for interrupting.
No, go ahead. That's all right because you're probably going to get to watch them as well. Most of America is going to be able to watch the Panthers this week because it's the big game with, of course, everyone's watching for the Cowboys, but I'm not. I'm watching for the Panthers. So back here we have New Jersey Devils have came to town to take on the Bolts. That game is this evening. Again, with it being cloudy and breezy, it's head on inside. At 5 p.m., we're going to see mostly cloudy to partly sunny skies. So if you're out and about, there's a lot of stuff going on downtown Tampa. But by 5 p.m., we're at 81 degrees. And then at 7 p.m., puck drop. When you're walking in, it'll be 78. After the game's over with, I've heard a couple of people around here call this sweater weather. I don't know about that. It's 73 at 11 p.m. I think that's absolutely fantastic. But get to the big one. The Niners are coming to town tomorrow to take on the Bucks. And this is actually a 4:25 kickoff. So you can watch the Jags. You can watch the Panthers, and then everyone can watch the Bucks. Hopefully we're celebrating there as well. Got a lot of injuries going on with the Bucks right now. But tailgating around lunchtime, you're looking at about 80 degrees. Winds out of the north about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So again, the wind not going to be a factor. Kickoff at 4:25. Again, you're looking at about 84 degrees. That's going to be our high. But the good news is tomorrow, 84 feels like 84. We don't get that very much, especially this time of year. Still dealing with some humidity, but not tomorrow. At halftime, you're looking at about 80 degrees. And then at game's end, of course, when the sun goes down, it'll cool off pretty quickly because, again, the dry air will be about 76 degrees by the time that game comes to an end. So that's great news. So we have good sports forecasts for today, tomorrow for the entire area. Again, today, probably just a little on the breezy side. But we need to transition over into tropics. I am kind of disappointed though with Karen. I've got my opinions on whether that one should have really been named or not, but it's already gone. So let's just go ahead and move on to the next. We still have Jerry, and we have an area that we're watching that has come off the coast of Africa. But the good news is you kind of see where that polygon, the yellow spot is, how it's kind of curving its way up to the north. So that's good news. National Hurricane Center giving that one a 10% potential over the course of the next few days, a 30% potential over the course of the next 7. And I'll show you some models on that one because we got a lot going on out over the Atlantic right now. And again, we still have Jerry. So Jerry's out there. It has now weakened again a little bit more. It was 60-mile-per-hour winds this morning, and it's now down to about 50. It is forecast to continue to weaken. It's moving directly to the north at 16 miles an hour. And look at that central pressure up over 1,005 millibar for that pressure. So again, you can kind of see where Bermuda is on this one. So Bermuda's right here. So good news is they're going to be on the west side of the storm. I think as weak as this one's going to be, they'll, of course, get some tides. They'll get a little bit of a breezy day for tomorrow. But again, far enough away. Now, I was looking this morning, it says the tropical storm force winds extend out about 205 miles from the center. But by the time we get through tomorrow, again, with this thing weakening more, this was when it was still 60-mile-per-hour winds, expected to be down to about 45. So again, this one is weakening, which is good news. And then it's going to make a turn out towards the east. The spaghetti models pretty much say the same thing. Jerry's not going to be a bother, really, even for Bermuda. Again, you're going to get some rough surf if you're out there. But even for our coast, the west coast, nothing. East coast, it's more about the low that's off there right now. That's providing us with the really high surf. But yeah, Jerry's moving up and out. I talked about this last week, and this is the reason why Jerry never strengthened and the reason why it's continuing weak. And look at all that Saharan dust in there. That dry air is pulling all that dry air in. And so that one is expected to weaken. And then you can look at this little swirl right here. This is the one that's, again, coming off the coast of Africa. And if we extend this out, you can see it kind of making a turn up towards the north. And you can kind of see that big dip and pushing that one out. So that one, again, there's some of your AI models that think this one's not going to have enough time to develop before it merges with a front that's going to be crossing. But again, about a 30% potential. Forecasted winds for the GFS. You'll see a little bit of it here, and watch as it turns this way up towards the north. So again, this one, and I'll show you, stop it here and show you this. This is Jerry, and then this is that one there, the potential for the one. So here is, let me stop it again. Oops, I put it too far. It's kind of hard to see. This is Jerry right here. This is the low that's moving up the coast. And then this is the potential. So again, a lot going on right there. There's going to be a lot of wind shear out there. And it looks like that one could get picked up and moved out. And so I'll take this all the way to the end because I want to show you this. So here it is, still hanging out. But I don't know if you noticed this right here. Some of your models are picking up something else coming off the coast. If I back this up, now follow it, going all the way back. So this is going to be, as we go midweek, there's Thursday, and there's through next weekend that we could see maybe. And again, this one should come across as a wave for quite a while, and then really not, here it is right here, and then possibly becoming a little bit better organized as it goes into the Caribbean. So this is something we'll keep a close eye on. There's your GFS model. It's a little robust on getting, well, a lot of systems to develop early. The European model kind of shows the same thing. Jerry takes off. That low that's moving up the coast kind of follows back behind it. And again, these being relatively strong. So again, here's Jerry. Here's the low working off the coast. Here is what we're looking at that really the European doesn't show much out of. And then as we go all the way into next weekend, you can see that it doesn't show much here either. So what we're going to go looking at as we go into the week. So again, we go back to our name list, and we can see that subtropical Karen's on there. Lorenzo's the next name on the list. And then this is what we're going to be focusing on. And again, this looks not like this area here is not what's tagged right now by the National Hurricane Center. It looks like the potential for something back behind that. And then as we go into the week after that, this is really the area to watch. And I'll show you that here. So if we take this tropical heat potential and then take this all the way out into next weekend. Okay, let's first take it here because I want to show you this one. This is what's coming off the coast of Africa and south of the Cabo Verde Islands and then making a turn up towards the north. Watch for something back behind it though. And here I'm going to go and zoom over to here. And there it is. This is again what could be back behind it. This is what we're going to be watching in the upcoming weeks ahead. And look at this tropical heat potential. And this is again where we typically go for this time of year. That's your tropical origins for October. And while we're not, there's still waves that are going to come off the coast of Africa, but with the water temperatures cooling there in the MDR, that's when we look for these waves just to continue on their trek across to the west. And then once they get into the Caribbean, they get into some much more favorable conditions for some development. And again, you look at this orange in here, there's your most likely, and then even more likely here in the green. So pretty much anywhere in the Gulf, in the western, northern Caribbean, same thing around the Bahamas, and then move their way up the coast. So again, we'll watch that. Here we are in hurricane season. Again, today is the 11th, and we're through the first third of the month there. And again, our activity continues to go down into the 1st of November before we go down just a little bit more, which again is always good news to continue to go down all the way till the end of November. And of course, we're going to be here doing this all the way through the end of November with hopefully nothing much to talk about. 11 named storms so far this year, 4 hurricanes. Again, Jerry didn't make it. It came close at times, but yeah, it didn't make it to hurricane, which is good news. Again, good news for Bermuda, good news for all of the East Coast right now, dealing again with that low that's working its way up the coast. So 3 major hurricanes so far this year, 2 Cat 5s. 2 years in a row, we had 2 Cat 5s.